What's up, everybody? Brandon Wersch here, and welcome back to another episode of Wednesdays with Wersch. In this week's episode, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about the whole foods diet. We're going back to basics here. No more convoluted diet plans, no more counting calories, no more macros. I'm gonna make it super easy for you guys and give you the do's and don'ts of the whole foods diet. So, without further ado, let's jump into it.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, for the record, for the record, for the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all.
Now, I've tried just about every diet under the sun, and what I've found is that they're convoluted, there's too many rules, and counting macros and counting calories is just too much work. And in a world where we're looking for convenience, the best thing is let's build some principles. Let's get a foundation for healthy eating and build a lifestyle versus you feeling like you're on a diet 24/7, all right? So what's worked best for me and what's worked best for my clients is a whole foods diet. What is that comprised of? Well, if it grows in the ground, walks on the earth, or it swims in the ocean, then it's fair game. I eat it. It's as simple as that. Now, I know there's a bunch of other things that we need to dive into and talk about, but today we're not gonna get into the nitty-gritty details. I'm just gonna give you the 30,000-foot view of what the whole foods diet is. So let's keep it simple. So what does a whole foods diet look like? Well, it consists of dark leafy vegetables, responsibly raised animal proteins, healthy fats from nuts and seeds, healthy oils, and carbohydrates. If you've worked out, and that's gonna be in the form of sweet potatoes, wild rice, and low glycemic fruit. So that excludes anything and everything not found in the produce or the meat section of your grocery store. So those food-like products have no business being in your shopping list or being in your cart. So let's dive into things to look for while you're at the grocery store so that you guys can make the best decisions possible when sourcing for a whole foods diet. So first off, let's talk about meats. And it's really simple. You're looking for organic and grass-fed, no antibiotics or hormones added. And the same can be said about lamb. And now fish is a little bit trickier. Fish, you're looking for wild caught, and previously frozen is okay, but factory farmed fish is just as bad as factory farmed beef. Next up, chicken, which is what most people are consuming as their primary source of protein. Here you're looking for organic and free range. Cage-free, vegetarian fed, and all that other stuff is just ploys to get you to buy their products, but it has no sort of significance in the quality of the chicken itself. So look for organic and free range. Eggs. We're looking for organic and omega-3. The reason for this is the omega-3s from flaxseed that is fed to the hens is actually translated or converted to ALA and DHA in the yolk of the eggs, which is great for your brain and awesome for reducing inflammation. Next up, we have veggies. And here you're always looking for organic, and iceberg lettuce does not count as a vegetable. So buying organic, the reason for that is to mitigate the damage done by pesticides to your gut flora, aka the good bacteria living in your stomach, keeping you alive and healthy. That's our first line of defense, and so you want to protect them as best as you can, and these pesticides kill off the good bacteria in your stomach. Next up, we have fruits, which should be looked at as a treat and not a staple of our diet. Now, something I consume on a regular basis are blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, goji berries, and apples. And the reason for this is they're low glycemic, which means that they're not going to be spiking your blood sugar, which is what we're trying to avoid when we're eating a whole foods diet, is sticking to the fats and proteins with a little bit of carbohydrates and really mitigating our sugar intake. Next, we have nuts and seeds. These are great sources of healthy fats and proteins, but just make sure that you're buying dry roasted whenever possible and eat the types of nuts that you like. I personally love macadamia nuts, almonds, walnuts, pecans, and chia seeds. Just don't overdo it. It's very easy to overindulge in these things. Treat it more like a snack than an entire meal. Healthy oils. These are the things that you're going to be cooking your food with, and it's really important to buy good quality extra virgin olive oil, grass-fed butter, ghee, and or coconut oil. No processed or hydrogenated oils should be in your cupboard, whether it's peanut, canola, or vegetable oils. These are not only heavily processed, but they are extremely inflammatory and stay in your body for long periods of time, so avoid these at all cost. Last but not least, carbohydrates. Now I typically only eat carbs after a workout, and this is because it's more likely to be stored as glycogen in the muscles rather than fat on our bodies. Now this doesn't give you the right to go out and carbo load on pasta, bread, and pizza. It just means that I would eat something like a sweet potato, a cup of wild rice, or some fruit. Now that I've given you a framework to work off of, you know what you should be buying in the grocery store and what you should be staying away from. I'm sure you're thinking, well, how much of this stuff should I eat and how often? It's whatever works best for you. And for me, I've found that 2 big meals a day with some snacking is perfect for me and my schedule. Some of you might require 3 meals, and some of you might be able to go with just 1 meal a day. Listen to your body and do what's best. And for many of us, we are starting off at a completely different point. You might be an athlete, which will require more protein, more carbohydrates, or you could be going from completely sedentary and just getting started, in which case you don't need as many carbohydrates and you probably don't need as much protein as somebody that's, let's say, training for a race, a triathlon, or something like that. So, understanding where you are from ground zero and taking what I've given you today and building off of that and listening to your body is going to be critical here. This is going to be me giving you a little bit of responsibility on your own to figure this out. And that's the fun about this. This is the whole part of becoming a scientist and understanding your body and learning what works best for you. I'm just giving you the tools to get started. Now it's on you. Now, although this diet might sound simple in nature, it's actually a little bit harder than we might think. And the reason why is because our brains have been hijacked by the food manufacturers. These guys have hired scientists to artificially create what's called a bliss point in the food that you are consuming. Sorry, the food-like products that you are consuming. So the Pringles, the Doritos, the Twinkies, the Gatorades, those are all designed to have you coming back and craving more because of the serotonin that's released in your brain as you get it. And so that reward system has you consuming more of the products and feeling less satiated than if you were to have, let's say, a nice, green salad or a ribeye with some healthy fats. These things have you coming back for more, even though they're making you sick. So by creating this foundation of having a whole foods diet, you're really altering your hormones and getting your cravings back on track to foods that we are naturally supposed to be eating in the first place. There's a reason why it's developed on the earth and it's grown in the oceans and the ground and from the animals that are produced here. It's because that's what we're supposed to be eating. So get away from the food-like products and give your body what it deserves. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions in regards to the whole foods diet, feel free to leave it down in the section below. I'm always happy to address your guys' questions. Now, this week's quote of the week is coming at us from Charles Dickens. The sun himself is weak when he first rises and gathers strength and courage as the day gets on. So don't be afraid about trying something new. Gain momentum with every good decision that you make, and I promise you that with this foundation that I gave you today, you will find the courage and the strength to continue on and keep building the life and the body that you want. So stick to it, stay consistent, and don't deviate. And as always, guys, be healthy, be happy, and be yourself. Everyone has something to give this world. You just gotta go out there and find it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.